Hey, yo, what's up? This disciple Marcello Currents reign back up in this anti-Illuminati all day, anti-telepathy all day, anti-America all day, and everybody with him, yeah. So, this video is going to be about basically this war that's going on, Okay, first off, I'm just gonna get straight to it, man. What I believe is, as far as America instigated this whole situation and kept revving up against Putin to the point where, as a man, he felt like he was going to make his decision to do what he wanted to do. Because in the beginning, I don't know if y'all remember, a lot of you guys don't even follow the news to a situation like this to a week or 2 weeks later. In the beginning, as far as this conflict, um, Ukraine accused America of panicking. This is key information. We're going to stay right here for a minute. Ukraine accused America of panicking, and it isn't even, and it's their war. They accused America of panicking. Now, why would America panic for Ukraine? Ukraine doesn't even come up in the news as an ally or someone that they even care about. Have you heard of America and Ukraine so loving each other, so in alliance with each other? You don't, do you? You really don't. And Ukraine themselves accused America of panicking concerning this Ukraine and Russia war. They accused them of panicking. And it's their war. And it's their problem. And it's their panic. But yet, they accused America of panicking. Now, was America really panicking? Why would they panic? It's not their, they're going to be good either way. So why are they panicking? Why are they panicking? For the most part, physically speaking, they're going to be good. So why are they panicking? They wasn't panicking. But they were zealous. Zealous. That's the word. They were accused by Ukraine, not other countries. They were accused by Ukraine. America was accused by Ukraine in the beginning of this Ukraine and Russia war of panicking. But they were zealous. That's the word. They were zealous to enter into this war just to be against Russia. That's all it was about. To oppose Russia. That's what it's all about. They don't even know the facts. What they should have done was share with us the facts. Share with the global community the facts of why you're so zealous. What makes you so involved? What makes you side with Ukraine? I gotta take it here. Because what Putin said was, which is, no one puts an emphasis on what he's saying. What he said is that there was bullying within the boundaries or the country of Ukraine. There was bullying going on, probably some type of gang stalking, just like they're doing here in America. And that's why I side with Russia, because of that soundbite of what Putin said. Putin said that they were being bullied. Ukrainian people were being bullied within the Ukraine borders. Say it again. Putin said that the Ukrainians were being bullied within the Ukraine borders. You don't gotta say nothing else. We ain't gotta say nothing else to add to it and all of that. This was his foundation for going into Ukraine. Okay? Nothing else. Clear your mind. Clear your mind. Okay? Clear your mind. Putin said he invaded Ukraine based on the fact that there was bullying going on in Ukraine. And I believe that because it's going on here. It's an age of that. It's an age of bullying. It's an age of gang stalking. It's an age of spying. It's an age of antagonizing individuals and nations. Okay? It's not far-fetched. It's going on here in America. It's bullying going on. It's bullying going on all around. Some of it is successful and some of it is not. It's not successful with me. You can try to bully me all you want. Look at your country. Look at America. Okay? So, that's why I believe it. That's why I stand with Russia. Because I believe that they're gang stalking their community or they're doing some type of antagonizing to their community. Yes, I do believe that. I look at Putin, and he doesn't have a substantial track record of just going around and dictating and being some type of dictator, some type of world police, or he's not that type of person. He's by action, he's not that type of person. I don't care what you think about. We're talking about actions. By actions, he's not that type of person to just go and invade and just do this just for no reason. He's not that type of person. It's convenient for America to put out all these images of standing with Ukraine and boycotting Russia. And like I said, Ukraine accused you of panicking in the beginning. They accused you of panicking. And that panic is what caused Putin, as a man, he has an ego, he's human. Your panicking provoked and aroused his defiant nature to go and invade Ukraine. You kept talking about it. You kept talking about it more than Ukraine. You kept talking about it more than anybody. Because you were trying to instigate a conflict so that you could oppose Russia, and it was slightly successful as far as opposition and getting people and demonizing Russia. As far as people opposing Russia and demonizing Russia, that's all you wanted to do. That's what. And see, this is the evidence. This panicking. I'm gonna keep hitting on this. This panicking is the evidence of your motives, of wrong motives. Okay, why were you panicking? Like I said, you were not in physical danger. You didn't have a problem physically. Your community was safe and sound. So why were you panicking? See, this is that element, and that's what Ukraine said. That's out of the Ukrainians' mouths. That the West was panicking. You go Google it. Go Google it if you don't believe me. There's an article on it. There's information on it. The Ukrainian people accused the West, specifically in the West, America, of panicking. Okay? They accused them of panicking. And this is the evidence of America's wrongdoing. Out of the mouths of the Ukrainian people. They were not panicking though. They just didn't know that America had other motives. When you understand they had other motives, you'll understand that that word wasn't panic, the word was zealous. They were zealous in this war or this conflict or the beginning of this conflict without a reason to be. And Biden and his administration were just trying, what I believe, using psychological tactics to rev up Putin to make him defy. Okay? And because if he's a man at the end of the day, you keep telling him, don't do this, it's gonna be this, and there ain't nothing going on. It's like, whoa, it's like two people fighting, two people arguing. And then it's like, okay, and the other person's like, yeah, you better. It's like, whoa, we not even that far yet. It's not even that bad yet. But yet you all over it because you want to see a fight. You're talking about it over and over again because in all actuality, you want them to fight so that you can oppose Russia pacifically. And here's the other punchline. Oh yeah, it gets worse. I know, you thought it ended there. Biden is only entering into this whole situation because he messed up 20 years of progress in Afghanistan. He messed up 20 years of progress in Afghanistan when he went over there and pulled out the troops. He pulled out the troops, caused servicemen to die, and 7 people to die by a drone attack that was unsuccessful, that was the wrong people, and killed 7 children in the process. 10 people were killed, 7 children were killed out of those 10 people. And the Taliban got back on top of the government because Biden decided to pull the troops out of Afghanistan. So he had to find a way to, with this whole botched situation, he had to find a way to redeem himself. So how did he do it? Oh, he's going to come into this war and he's going to act like this strong leader talking about Russia and talking about supporting the Ukraine and helping them, sending weapons over there. Biden only entered into this war to redeem himself for 20 years of progress going down the drain that was of progress concerning the war against those who caused 9/11. So all the 9/11 war progress was flushed down the drain, flushed down the toilet, and he had to find a way to redeem himself quickly in the same area, which is war. So that was his motive. Jump all over that. Yeah, I make myself look good. That's all it's about. That's all these politicians are about, is making themselves look good. When they mess up, specifically here in America, which they do it frequently, then they try to come back around and make it up. Make their image back better. Make you perceive them better so that they can get reelected. So the whole reason he did all of that is so that he could stand up and do this, do that, and you say, Biden is strong. He ain't strong. All he did was being zealous with instigating between Russia and Ukraine, and all he did was use some type of reverse psychology, some Jedi mind trick to fight against, to instigate this fight. Act like he was so concerned. But all he was doing was instigating this fight so he can come in and redeem himself for messing up 20 years of progress in Afghanistan, and now the Taliban is back on top. You don't see them reporting week by week what's going on in the Taliban, do you? Wouldn't you like to know? If your children went over there and served after 9/11 happened, wouldn't you like to know what's going on right now in Taliban world, in Afghanistan world? Wouldn't you want to know? You don't see anybody reporting week to week, right? It's important information, don't you think? To see what they're doing to the people. We had all these men over there, and you pulled them out and you messed up 20 years of progress. So let's see what's going on after you messed up 20 years of progress, bruh. And you know why they're not doing it? Because it's not convenient for them to do it. It doesn't work in their favor because we're constantly reminded that you, Joe Biden and your administration, flushed 20 years of progress. The response of 9/11, that 20 years of progress is down the drain. And so you don't even report on on what's going on in Taliban with Afghanistan right now, because it constantly reminds people that you flushed 20 years down the drain as far as war progress. And that war progress is concerning the response to 9/11. So they're not showing you about what's going on in Afghanistan. Now listen, key word, check this. After they done messed up 20 years of progress. After they done messed up 20 years of progress, you don't hear anything about Taliban in Afghanistan anymore. You know why? Because they, like I said, they don't want you to be reminded that this present administration has messed up 20 years of progress in Afghanistan that was the response to 9/11. They don't want you to be reminded of that. So although you haven't been conscious of this, being that most Americans are not, you're probably not, it's not to the forefront of your mind. But it's to the forefront of their mind that they messed up 20 years of progress. So soon as Russia, now you see where I'm going with this? Soon as Russia and Ukraine start bickering, let's jump on this. This will help us redeem ourselves for messing up 20 years of progress. That's the whole reason America is even in it. Back to the beginning, Ukraine accused America of panicking concerning this war. Now imagine that. Imagine America panicking for another country. Imagine America panicking for another country. Not in this lifetime, partner. What they were doing, they were being zealous to redeem themselves from messing up 20 years of progress in Afghanistan. So they were zealous and desperate at the same time, and desperate to redeem themselves, like I said, concerning this war. So what they did was they entered in this out of desperation. They entered into this Ukraine and Russia war out of desperation to redeem themselves, and it was perceived as panicking because the Ukrainian people didn't know, they weren't conscious of the fact, and it wasn't to the forefront of their mind, that America had messed up 20 years of progress in Afghanistan, and that was the response to 9/11 progress. 20 years of the response to 9/11 progress was flushed down the toilet, and they needed something to redeem themselves in the same area. So the Ukraine people perceived that as panicking. It wasn't panicking, it was desperation. It was zealous. It was a zealous desperation. Put it like that. And so that's the whole reason this because it even went to the point that it did as far as America goes, doing all this boycott, sanctions, and all of this. This is all about refining or redeeming Biden's administration. That's all it is. When you got Ukraine telling you that you panicking, they telling you that. So what's that about? What's that energy about? That energy is about redeeming themselves from messing up 20 years of progress, playing with other people's nations to redeem yourself. Playing with other people's lives to redeem yourself. No different than what Donald Trump did. The slow response on COVID. And that was election year, 2020. A lot of people wasn't conscious of it, 2020 being election year because of COVID. All he was trying to do with that slow response is cause a perfect storm that he can come in and redeem and get and fix, and then therefore, and as a result, get praises from you, and therefore get reelected, being that it was election year. So all he did was slow that response down in order to cause a perfect storm to come in and fix it, and you sing his praises, and he gets reelected, being that it was election year. That's all this is about. We still don't know clearly what the war is even about. Smart people can break stuff down. That's what you call teachers. I break stuff down. I don't try to complicate it where you can't understand. I don't try to keep it so complex where you can't, as a community, perceive what I'm saying. I could do that. I could speak over your head. I could speak over your head on everything. But a teacher doesn't do that, and a person that wants you to know what's going on won't do that. But you still don't know what's going on in 9/11. I mean, with this Ukrainian and Russia war, you still don't know, and you still don't really actually. Yeah, you don't know what went on with 9/11 when the Trade Center 7 fell and the plane didn't hit it. No plane hit Trade Center 7, and they still can't tell you why it fell. Insulting your intelligence with that big, gigantic building talking about fires. The fires wasn't even big enough to destroy the whole building. The building too big. You see those huge mammoth buildings? It's not a food stamp building. That wasn't a food stamp building. That building was huge. Go look at pictures of the building. Now, how a fire make that fall? Okay, so back to this situation. It's all about Russia. You see how they jumped on Russia, the hate for Russia? That's all it was about. It was all about bringing Russia down. Two birds with one stone. Redeeming the Biden's administration from failure, 20 years of progress, that was a response to 9/11 in Afghanistan, all down the drain. It was all about that, redeeming his image with that failure, and fighting one of their greatest foes, not my greatest foe. I have respect and love for Russia. It was all about redeeming his administration, the Biden administration, and fighting Russia. That's what it's all about. Because at the end of the day, Putin really ain't been doing nothing like that. It has. Not too long ago, you was talking with him. The Biden administration was talking with him not too long ago. So how all these sanctions and boycotting vodka, which that's not hurting anybody. Not hurting Russia. You throwing out their liquor? Come on, man. That's corny. That's a cornball move. We're gonna take out that Russian liquor. Some of it still come from there, even if it ain't got a Russian label anyway. Oh, it's because they don't say Russia. You don't think some of this vodka comes from Russia? Boy, you're naive. I tell you that. You're very naive of how people hustle. So, that's my take on it, man. That's what I believe. That's with all my heart. America never had the right intentions with all they've been doing and saying at all. All it's about is redeeming, like I said, the Biden administration from the failures of 20 years of progress going down the drain, and to just fight Russia, to get to finally subdue who they perceive is their enemy. That's what this is all about. You got to remember, you're not dealing with no saints. You're not dealing with preachers. Joe Biden is not a preacher. Joe Biden is a Catholic, not a Christian. Christians and Catholics are not the same thing. Christianity and Catholicism is not the same thing. Okay? And we don't know what religion Kamala Harris has. I don't know. Off the cuff, we haven't heard it. You can go find it out, but we haven't heard it. But the bottom line is, these are not Christians and prophets that's running your world, that's running your country called America. You better wake up. They're not perfect and they're not holy.